This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today. With the government's traffic light system, vaccine passports arrive tomorrow, with cafes saying no passport, no entry. A handful of teenagers are incredibly lucky to have survived a horror crash. And a Central Otago community is celebrating the near eradication of a significant pest species. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. As the government's new traffic light COVID management system comes into place tomorrow, hospitality industries are bracing for change. One Dunedin bar is cautiously welcoming the vaccine pass and the challenges that come with it.
A window display to hammer the point home. Any punters wanting a drink in Dunedin's Wolf Bar will need to show their vaccine pass if they want to quench their thirst. The Stewart Street Bar isn't alone, with hospitality businesses around the country requiring patrons to show their vaccine passes when drinking or dining on site. That would allow businesses to operate in conditions similar to the current Level 1 restrictions. For bar owner Josh Thomas, working alongside the rules around the traffic light system is worth it.
So for us it's a no-brainer from a business point of view, but it's also a no-brainer in terms of the health and well-being of our staff and our patrons.
The South Island will operate under the orange light level from Friday, with the North Island a mix of orange and red. Thomas admits the change will have challenges, but is ready to adapt.
We're not quite sure how it's going to play out. We have hundreds of people through a night. A lot of people come and go. We have smokers ducking in and out. So logistically it's going to be a bit tricky, but it's just an adjustment. We'll see how it goes, we'll adjust as needed, so we're not too fazed by it.
Any businesses not wanting to follow the pass requirements will only be able to operate for contactless pickup or delivery. The South Island is expected to remain under orange light rules until at least mid-January. In Dunedin, the South Today.
There are 10 more cases of COVID-19 within the South Island. 10 of the 172 new community cases announced by the Ministry of Health are in the Nelson-Marlborough area. The cases are part of 2 clusters in the region, with the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases sitting at 14. A possible connection between the 2 clusters is being investigated. Nelson's Inner Glen School and Broad Green Intermediate are temporarily closed, while a risk assessment is undertaken as both sites have links to the COVID cases. The Ministry of Health says there are 86 cases of COVID-19 in hospitals, with 9 in intensive care. 5 teens had a lucky escape in Christchurch after a road accident this morning on State Highway 1. Their cars collided at speed with each other, forcing one driver to lose control as his vehicle slid on its roof for more than 100 metres.
Emergency services arrived quickly at the scene of the spectacular crash on Johns Road. Station Officer Joe Stanley says the occupants of both cars were lucky to escape the crash without any serious injuries.
We've seen 2 cars, one upside down, no persons entrapped but persons injured, so we've provided medical support to the persons who are injured and made the cars safe while we waited for the police to take control of the scene.
17-year-old Oliver Coronet was one of 5 passengers in the overturned car.
So we didn't know what the was happening. We had to swerve pretty hard.
He estimates their car slid over 100 metres along the motorway safety fence.
We slid for miles. Felt like it wasn't going to stop.
Stanley says the accident scene was one of the more unusual crashes he's attended.
Any motor vehicle crash has its peculiarities. Maybe this is an unusual scene potentially because of the personalities involved in the scene, but this sort of stuff, rolled cars into other cars, we see that all the time when we respond to motor vehicle crashes.
Traffic was reduced to 1 lane after the crash, resulting in long delays for motorists. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Dunedin has been confirmed as the host of 6 group stage matches during the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2023. 12 teams will visit the city for the fixtures, which will be played between July 21st and August the 1st. One of the matches is the Football Ferns' third and final group stage match. Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins says it's a significant announcement for the city. The city is one of 9 cities co-hosting the tournament, featuring 32 teams playing 64 matches in 10 stadiums across New Zealand and Australia. For many years, rabbits have been among the most destructive pest species in central Otago. However, pest-free Pisa moorings are claiming a significant win in their war on rabbits.
The pest-free moorings group have come a long way since members recall feeling the earth moving with vermin beneath them.
Pest-free Pisa moorings started out when I moved here 2 years ago. We would go for a walk and the whole ground would move with rabbits. And I thought, oh, this is not good.
2 years down the track, they say they've pretty much annihilated the population. However, they've used what they call a humane form of chemical warfare.
Gas called magtoxin. So how that works, it's a very humane way of dealing with these rabbits. So obviously the rabbits are down in the burrows. We drop these magtoxin tablets down the burrows and it sets off a gas, starves the rabbit of oxygen. We add water, cover the burrow up and it starves the rabbits of oxygen and kills them very quickly.
The community is thankful for a host of sponsors, including the local Mount Pisa Vineyard, Fulton Hogan and more. Pest-free Pisa moorings also asked each household for a $100 donation towards rabbit stops.
The rabbit stops will be worth about $4,000. There's one, you know, $2,000 each end, so that's 4. And then we spent $3,000 on ferret traps, and there'll be another couple of grand on magtoxin and things like that.
Speaking at a community celebration this week, Stu Taylor says it's roughly $10,000 well spent. And the residents' efforts caught the attention of the region's mayor, with Tim Cadogan showing his appreciation.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic to come here to a community that looked at a problem, saw it as their own, owned it and went, we're going to fix it. And that really is what it was all about today, that a group said, we can do this. They got the supporters behind them, they got the finance behind them through some really good sponsorship, and then they put the work in, about 500 hours they reckon.
The community's officially opened rabbit stops, which are like a cattle stop but smaller, on the local cycle trail and at either end of their subdivision. In central Otago, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. After cancellations due to COVID-19, the Cancer Society Relay for Life event is set to return to Dunedin, and Ralph Hotary works are in high demand during an auction house's online auction.
Certainly being on a bike, the frustrations you get when people are behind you, they're impatient, you know, it's only 5 or 10 seconds more out of your day, and when you think about it, we're on a lot longer journey than you are, and just keeping space. It's not hard to give a metre, you know, even if it means waiting a minute or so to pass.
For the 12 days of Christmas my mate gave to me 13 to 40% off selected items store-wide. It's My Mate John's 12 deals of Christmas.
My Mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep on lifting.
Welcome back. A man is dead after a grader rolled on a rural property near Miller's Flat last night. Police last night said emergency services were alerted to the incident on Beaumont Station Road about 8:30 p.m, but no information was given about the condition of the driver. This morning, police confirmed a man had been found dead at the scene. A St John's spokesman last night said an ambulance was called and a rescue helicopter was on standby, but both were stood down a short time later. The matter is now in the hands of the police, he said. Police say inquiries are continuing. A date's been set for the first Cancer Society Relay for Life to take place in Dunedin since 2018. The event is normally held in Dunedin every second year, with last year's 2020 event one of the many cancelled due to COVID-19.
Celebrating the return of a popular and rewarding event. Members of the Relay for Life organising committee met at Forsyth Bar Stadium this week to confirm the return of the community experience next year.
So we're here to announce that we're officially launching Relay for Life Dunedin back on the 5th of March next year in 2022.
Relay for Life is usually a biannual event, with a virtual candlelit ceremony held last year instead due to COVID-19 restrictions. Cancer Society Events and Community Team Leader Emma Anderson says the pandemic has also put a strain on cancer services.
A lot less people are going for early diagnosis to get in and actually get screened for cancer screening, and that has an on-flow effect of people being delayed in diagnosis, so then our services increase, but also just due to part that people think that, you know, I'm not in need, someone else needs the service more than me, but in respect, everyone needs help when they need help.
Next year's Relay for Life will be half the normal duration, at just 12 hours instead of the traditional 24. However, Anderson says the team's looking forward to its return.
It's a big deal trying to remember and celebrate and fight back against cancer by coming to Relay for Life, and doing that lap of honour for the survivors and carers is a huge thing. It's a celebratory thing that they can realise that they've overcome cancer, or fighting to keep going when the journey can be so tough.
Harry Hollier is a recent addition to Dunedin's Relay for Life team, but it won't be his first time being involved.
So I started getting into relay really when I was in high school. I was the captain of a team. We had a real good run that year, and the committee from the Canterbury Relay reached out to me the following year and asked me to come on board as the youth chair at the time. So I did all the talks around all the high schools around sort of South Canterbury, just sort of fell in love with the event, and so after doing 2 events in South Canterbury, I've recently moved down to Dunedin, so thought I would carry on down here. I think it's a great cause.
The event is typically a colourful affair as people celebrate life. And Holly is bringing an initiative from Timaru to Dunedin, which he hopes many local retailers will get on board with.
Paint the Town Purple is actually a campaign that's being used in December, South Canterbury Relay, that obviously we've brought into the Dunedin one this year. Basically it's just a really good way to get the businesses and organisations around the area involved in Relay. Obviously for this year as well, because we've been a while without the event, it's a really good way for us to sort of get the event out there. Basically we just ask shop fronts to basically paint the town purple, so get as much purple in the windows as possible, and there'll be a competition for those businesses for who does the best job.
Relay for Life 2022 is scheduled to be held at Forsyth Bar Stadium next March. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Ralph Hotery's works were highly contended this week after 3 of his works sold for thousands of dollars. 2 of his paintings saw bidding past the $10,000 mark. Window in Spain and Round Midnight were 2 of the local artist's pieces which sold for $12,000 each. Both pieces were sold during Hayward Auction House's online auction, which finished earlier in the week. Hotery's Round Midnight was highly contested with 24 bids and sold for 4 times more than its estimated value. One of Hotery's other works was Night Window with Manhole, which sold for $6,000. Still to come on the South Today. A property developer plans to develop sections in Luggett to help with Wanaka's affordable housing shortage for workers. And we take a look at tomorrow's weather for you.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
For the 12 days of Christmas my mate gave to me 13 to 40% off selected items store-wide. And because John carries stock, you don't have to wait. The biggest range, the lowest prices and the best service. Plus pay nothing for 12 months and then get another 12 months interest-free. It's My Mate John's 12 Deals of Christmas.
Where'd you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and My Mate John.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Just plan your route a little bit, choose nice and quiet roads. In the winter it's always nice to ride north and south, that way you get the driest route and less likely to hit black ice.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. A Wanaka developer believes Luggett can help Wanaka workers find permanent homes as housing availability and affordability become even more critical issues in the district. Lake Mackay Limited Partnership has applied for non-notified resource consent to develop about 125 sections on a 15-hectare block behind Luggett. Property developer Murray Frost says the sections will be about 800 square metres. His development will supply a significant increase in the region's housing stock. The historic Luggett flour mill is set to be a centrepiece in the area. Frost says 15 properties in the subdivision have already sold. Sports stars are usually being supported by their communities, but yesterday the roles were reversed. Otago rugby and cricket players teamed up together to help collect and stack canned goods for Dunedin's food banks.
Stacking tins in the back of a van to feed those in need. Otago Volts and Highlanders players lent a hand yesterday to collect canned goods for the We Can community can appeal. It's less action-packed than their usual line of work, but a job worth doing given the lack of food drives this year.
Today we're just helping sort all the cans that people are currently donating, so I think the Dunedin food banks at the moment are running a bit low, so we've got the opportunity here to help out the community.
Supporters' gear was handed out to those who made a large donation, and cricketer Michael Ray says it's a nice opportunity to help the community.
As athletes, it's nice to obviously give back so much to the community. You actually think about the job that we do. We're really lucky to actually get out there every day and sort of, play a sport for a living. So it's obviously just a lovely opportunity to get out and actually potentially just give a little bit of your time and effort for some people who are a little bit less fortunate.
The tins will be distributed around Dunedin food banks and help resupply their stocks in time for Christmas. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. With the government's traffic light system, vaccine passports arrive tomorrow with cafes saying no passport, no entry. A handful of teenagers are incredibly lucky to have survived a horror crash. And a Central Otago community is celebrating the near eradication of a significant pest species. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart. What have you got
Hello,
for
Melissa.
us?
Well, we've got some good, exciting news for you first up. COVID obviously has caused some huge disruption, many events cancelled or postponed, but we have some good news. 6 games in the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 will be played in Dunedin. So that's a massive windfall for spectators, football fans, but also economically for the city. So some good news there. July, August, so you've got a wee way to wait, but getting six games in that prestigious tournament is pretty exciting. So that was announced today. In other bits and pieces, Dunedin City Councillor Lee Vandervis says his ability to fulfil his duties as an elected member will be severely affected by the council's decision to bar the unvaccinated from its buildings. So some reaction from councillors and Councillor Lee Vandervis as well in that story. And of course the traffic light system kicks in tomorrow fully, so we again chatted to retailers to see their reaction, and there's a little bit of confusion still around what they may or may not do, so it's a little bit of a wait and see to see how things pan out, but we'll be watching that as well. Another strong story, a chronic shortage of aged residential care nurses in the south is starting to affect the quality of care given to the elderly, according to a new report. So that topic has been discussed for some time, but this official report kind of puts it front and centre. So we have a look at that.
Yeah, it's great to have something concrete to back it up because there
Sure.
has been speculation. Lovely, and you
Thank
can
you.
catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the situation, warm and humid for the next few days as northerly airflow washes over the region. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, it's a wet day for both areas here with rain and 18 degrees for Westport and Greymouth. And it's wet in the northeast too, with showers expected for both Nelson and Blenheim. Nelson reaches a high of 19, Blenheim 22. And the wet weather with warm temperatures continues for along the Canterbury coast. Christchurch escapes the rain but has cloud cover and 23. Kaikoura 20 degrees with showers, and Ashburton has scattered showers with 25 degrees. To the southern towns, the Catlins will experience a few showers with fresh northerlies and 20 degrees. Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore, it's fresh northwesterlies with increasing cloud for all in these towns with 22 degrees. The wet weather continues for the central towns. Wanaka, showers and moderate northerlies. Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra will all have decent temperate scores. 24 for Wanaka, 23 for Queenstown and Alexandra 25. Te Anau can expect fresh northwesterlies, rain and 20 degrees. Further north along the coast, Timaru moderate northeasterlies, mostly cloudy and a high of 23. Oamaru is the same, although there might be a bit of rain with 21 degrees. Moving inland to Tuazu and Amarama, it's showers, northerly winds and 24 degrees for both of you. In Dunedin tonight, cloudy with breezy northeasterlies along the coast with an overnight low of 14. Overcast tomorrow and Saturday with some spits of light rains at time. More persistent for a while on Saturday morning. Breezy northeasterlies will be fresh and gusty. Still mild temperatures though and rather humid. Friday a high of 21 and a low of 15, and temperatures are the same for Saturday with 21 and a low of 15. And in Invercargill, mostly cloudy tonight with northerlies and an overnight low of 10. Tomorrow, fine and warm with high cloud increasing with moderate to fresh breezy north to northwesterly winds, looking at a high of 25 and a low of 12. And Saturday, cloudy with showers developing and fresh northerlies decreasing later in the day, a high of 20 and a low of 13. And that's the news this Thursday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pou, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.